lost 35 pounds without doing a single minute of cardio, no running, no cycling, no HIIT workouts. Before you accuse me of doing something worse than cardio, I didn't replace cardio with anything crazy either. I just incorporated 5 simple steps into my day that allowed me to lose body fat. These are systems that you can incorporate to your lifestyle. It'll help you lose your body fat a lot easier than if you were just doing cardio by itself. First of all, I personally do not like cardio at all. Regular cardio for me just doesn't do it. I get really bored and cardio hurts, and it hurts constantly. You know, it's good for your willpower and stuff to train your willpower. I just do not like doing cardio unless I really have to or unless it's an actual sport. But I don't like using cardio or doing cardio in order for me to try and lose weight or in order for that to be my primary source of exercise for me to try and lose weight. Research has shown time and time again that if a person doesn't like doing something, then they're not going to stick to it long term. Consistency is key when it comes to weight loss, and consistency is the result of sustainability. If you're not able to sustain something long term because you don't like it, then obviously you're not going to be able to be consistent. And essentially, any goal you have in life is just an effect of a cause that is consistently done over time. So you have to consistently cause the thing to happen in order for the effect to come about, which is your goal. So my effect or goal was to lose 35 pounds. And I knew if I did cardio to try and lose all that weight, I was not going to be able to stick to it because I just do not like cardio like that. And chances are, if you're watching this video, you probably don't like cardio either. And so I think this video will be of great help to you. And if you incorporate the 5 steps that I'm going to talk about in a second here, it'll help you lose all the weight that you want to lose. Let's move on to the next thing. Body fat percentage or body composition. Most people who are trying to lose weight, they over-fixate on the weight itself. But when you over-fixate on the weight itself, it could be you losing anything from your body that comes off in pounds. So for example, if you're trying to lose 40 pounds or whatever, all of that comes from muscle. That's not a good thing. You obviously want to lose that from body fat. And when most people do want to lose weight and they mention that, oh, I need to lose weight, they usually mean they need to lose body fat, unless they don't know what the negative implications of losing muscle mass is. So let's say there's person A and there's person B. One loses 20 pounds. It's a combination of muscle and fat, and the other loses 20 pounds of pure body fat. Who do you think is going to look better? Obviously person B, because their muscle to body fat ratio is improved because they've retained all their muscle and just lost body fat, whereas person A lost both body fat and muscle, so their body composition didn't improve by that much. And maybe you're saying, oh, I want to lose weight for health, not for the looks. Well, there's scientific research that shows that body fat percentage is one of the most important health metrics out there. In fact, body composition is more important than BMI. And if you don't know what BMI is basically when they take your height relative to your weight and compare it against each other to see what index you fall within. And BMI doesn't really account for lean body mass, which is muscle mass, bone, organ, and then fat mass and water weight. Whereas body composition differentiates between lean mass and body fat mass. And there's scientific evidence that improving your body fat percentage is much more beneficial to your health than improving your BMI. Now that we know we need to improve our body composition and hold muscle mass and lose only body fat, we can now see why cardio alone is a problem when it comes to improving body composition. There is scientific evidence that shows that if cardio is your main form of exercise throughout your diet, you will lose muscle mass. A study titled "Resistance Training as a Key Strategy for High Quality Weight Loss in Men and Women" found those exact results, as you can see here. But that is not to say that cardio is inherently a bad thing. It has very good health benefits, and you can use it if you're playing your cards correctly. We'll talk about how you can incorporate cardio in another video, because chances are if you're watching this video, you probably don't like cardio. So now that we've got that out of the way, what are the 5 things that I did to lose that 35 pounds without doing any cardio? You will see that the theme is to preserve muscle mass while you force your body to pull energy from stored body fat. First of all, I entered a calorie deficit. Surprise, surprise. I'm sure you know this, but all weight loss is a direct result of a calorie deficit. But it cannot be just any deficit. It has to be a smart deficit. Research shows that if you lose more than 1 to 2 pounds per week, then you're going to exacerbate the chances of muscle loss a lot more than if you were to just eat at a 500 calorie deficit. And that 500 calorie deficit times 7 days in a week equals to 3,500 calories, which means you would lose 1 pound of body fat per week. Anything more than a 500 calorie deficit is a calculated risk for muscle loss, which is exactly why I didn't go into a deeper deficit than 500 calories from my maintenance calories. And as I dieted down and lost some weight, my calorie intake did go down. And this is a completely natural thing to happen because since my body is now smaller than it used to be, it basically has less mass than it used to. And simple physics suggests that things that have less mass require less energy for it to sustain itself as a result of the weight loss that you went through. And whenever your metabolism slows down, you're going to hit a weight loss plateau. This is because your body now burns pretty much the same amount of calories as your previous deficit. Let's say at the start of your diet, your metabolism burned 2,500 calories, which is right up to here, okay? And you ate 500 calories less. So at 2,000 calories, your deficit is meeting your metabolism. Now your new metabolism is basically your deficit, which means that is now your new maintenance. And so if that is your new maintenance, then you need to create a bigger deficit in order for you to lose some more weight. And what I would do every time I would hit that natural plateau is decrease my calories by another 200 calories, and I would start losing some more weight until I hit my second plateau, and then I just decreased another 100 or 200 calories. And this is totally normal, and it doesn't happen that many times. All you gotta do is just increase your deficit from your metabolism, either through activity or through diet. And I'm gonna talk about activity in a second here, but that's pretty much how I counteracted that natural metabolic adaptation. Next is proper protein amounts. And I'm sure you've heard this many times as well, but protein keeps you full for longer so that you're satiated for longer and you don't overeat other food. It also tastes very good, and it helps preserve muscle, which is one of the most important things when it comes to a calorie deficit, because if you're not getting enough protein, your body doesn't have enough nutrients. Protein is the nutrient building block for muscle. So what you need to do is eat 0.5 to 0.8 grams per pound of body fat in order for you to continue preserving muscle mass while you're losing body fat. Basically, the calorie deficit makes sure that your body has to pull energy from its own self, and eating proper protein amounts just goes ahead and makes sure that it doesn't pull the energy from the muscles and instead pulls that energy from body fat. I personally ate 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, but that's because I just like to eat protein. You don't necessarily have to. 0.5 to 0.8 grams per pound of body weight will do just fine. So now that we've got diet out of the way, let's talk about exercise. My main form of exercise was resistance training, and resistance training is pretty much just weights, body weight exercises, or anything that puts direct mechanical tension onto your muscles. And I basically did resistance training to signal to the body that, hey, we're using the muscle, so you actually need to keep the muscle, because the body will not keep something or will not keep a skill or anything if it doesn't have a reason to hold on to that thing. One of those use it or lose it kind of thing. And since we're now giving the body the stimulus to hold on to the muscle, it also has protein from earlier, which is the nutrient building block for muscle, to continue either building muscle or hold on to the muscle while we force the body to lose body fat. I worked out each muscle group twice per week, and you might think, oh no, that's a lot of muscles, that'll take a lot of time. No, it won't. It doesn't take that long. It only takes 40 to 60 minutes per week. You can check out my other video here where I explain how you can work out 90 minutes per week and you will lose body fat. Basically though, you want to split muscles into different groups, and this splitting of muscles into a different group is called workout splits. And you can do one of these workout splits, push-pull legs, upper lower, or full body 3 times a week. Just make sure that if you're doing push-pull legs, you're going to have to go into the gym 6 days a week, which is not necessarily the best thing to do if you don't have much time. Instead, what you could do is pick full body 3 times a week. This is what I recommend for my clients, and this is exactly what they do, and they maintain pretty much all their muscle while they lose body fat. Next, let's talk about cardio. What did I replace cardio with? I replaced it with NEAT. NEAT is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Now, what the hell does that mean? Any movement that is not exercise, basically. It takes your body energy for you to move your arm, etc. That's exactly why on a day where you're feeling very low on energy, you don't want to move around because you're low on energy, right? Because it takes energy to do these things. So that's what non-exercise activity thermogenesis is. Walking is NEAT. Me talking right now is NEAT. Me moving my hand is NEAT. Me leaning back on this chair is NEAT. Any movement that is not exercise is a non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and they all burn calories. And if you do enough NEAT throughout the day, you're going to burn a lot of calories. And walking is one of the best forms of NEAT. Now, don't get me wrong, cardio is very good for burning calories, but it is very fatiguing. It's like a linear pattern of increasing burning calories and increasing fatigue. Whereas walking is much less efficient at burning calories, but the fatigue aspect is pretty non-existent basically. And since that fatigue aspect from walking is so low, you can drag out walking by a long shot and you would burn a lot of calories without even accumulating any fatigue. And fatigue is very important when it comes to a diet because you're already malnourished since you're forcing your body to, use body fat as energy. You're not giving it enough energy. Its recovery capacity is lowered. And if you accumulate too much fatigue, with your recovery capacity lowered, then you're going to run into injury. And this is exactly why you don't want to do too much cardio or do cardio as a main form of exercise, aside from losing muscle mass on a weight loss phase. A good goal to start off with is 7,000 steps per day. And as you diet down and you run into, remember earlier we talked about metabolic adaptation, how your metabolism adapts to your new lower body weight and your calorie intake comes down. What you could do then is whenever you run into those plateaus, you can increase the amount of steps you get throughout the day, and that will increase your calorie burn, which means it will increase your calorie deficit. And what I would like to do whenever I ran into those plateaus is obviously decrease my daily calorie intake by 200 and increase my NEAT or steps by about 1 to 2,000, and that would put me into a deeper calorie deficit for me to start losing more weight. And last but not least, I made sure to get sleep. This is key. You already know why it's so important. There's a video of Matthew Walker on YouTube where he talks about how important sleep is, and I would highly recommend watching that video and reading that book by Matthew Walker on why we sleep. Also, if you don't sleep enough, your body will start to release ghrelin, which is a hunger hormone, and that will make you want to eat way more food than you actually needed to, and it will suppress the satiating hormone, which is called leptin, and that double whammy will go ahead and kind of sometimes break you into your diet. It will basically make you eat high calorie foods. And also, if you don't sleep enough, you're going to be low energy, which means you don't want to move around much, means you burn less calories. You end up consuming more calories because ghrelin and leptin goes up and down. It's unnaturally skewed. You're less likely to move around, which means you're burning less calories. And so therefore, sleep is very important. And if you cannot consistently get a certain amount of sleep, just get as much of it as you possibly can. If you have work or whatever, and I totally get it, go ahead and sleep as much as you can. Don't say, F it, I can't get the solid 7 hours. So then I'm going to just stay up on my phone for an extra hour playing I don't know what or scrolling Instagram or whatever. Instead, maximize as much sleep as you possibly can get. Again, 7 to 8 hours consistently, as you know, is the best. And so that's exactly how I did that. By the way, if you're struggling to lose weight, no matter what diet you try, there's a link in the description that you can use to book a free call with me. It's a call where I explain how I can help you solve that problem and help you diagnose what that issue is, why you're not able to lose the weight. You can check it out down below. You don't have to check it out, but it is there if you want to. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you have a question about what I talked about in this video, shoot them in the comments. If you want me to make a video on a certain topic or a certain thing that you're struggling with when it comes to weight loss, please also drop it in the comments and I'll make a video for you. If you like what you see in this channel, then please subscribe because I've got a lot more coming. Thanks for watching. Bye.